Hey guys, I've been trying for some time now to get a somewhat realistic spacey kind of nebula effect in resin, and I've recently figured out a technique that really gives a wispy, sheer, very dimensional effect that I've been trying to achieve for some time now. I've been making magnets with this technique, but this was my first attempt with such a large bezel. I won't be showing you how to make this particular one, but rather one like it. I made this one first just to make sure I could even pull off what I was trying to accomplish. I tried it, I'm happy with the results, so now I'm going to make another one and show you how to do it. Okay, so before I begin the tutorial, I want to go ahead and talk about what kind of materials we're going to be needing for this. It's going to require a lot of materials. I just want to put that out there right away. This was achieved by 2 different resin pours. There is 6 colors altogether in here, and there's 3 in each layer. The back layer is purples and blue, and the front layer is like a teal and the orange and the pink that you see. The dish that all of this is going to get poured in was very inexpensive. I got it at the thrift store for 75 cents, just like the other one that already has the design in it. Every time I go to the thrift store, I see these too, and there's heart ones and just round ones. There's different ones, and you can also get them at the dollar store for like $1. These things are really, really easy to come by. I even have another one that we just keep like keys and trinkets in and all of that. So that's easy to find. You don't have to use a star. You can use whatever you want. I'm just going with the star. You're going to need measuring cups. You're going to need measuring cups. You're also going to need sticks to mix and pour and do all of those things you need to do. That's just a given when working with resin. The colors I'm using are micas. These are actually for soap making. I got these from tkbtrading.com. They're for soap, but they can also be used for polymer clay and for resin and crafting and all of that stuff. So one of my layers is going to have these colors, these mica colors. It's a blue, it's a darker blue, and a purple. These are also soap pigments that can be used for other stuff like crafting, and I got these from brambleberry.com. And recently I made a video. I wanted to do an experiment, and I wanted to see if paint, just acrylic paint you could pick up at Walmart, works in resin, and it totally did. So now that I know that, I use it a little bit, and I'm going to use it in this project. And I have like this nice dusky orange color and this teal color, and I also have some resin pigment, and it's just a white for mixing with things here and there. I also have glitters because I want a star effect. So I have a silver glitter, and I also have like an iridescent glitter that will get sprinkled in the layers. And of course we need our resin. I'm just using Amazing Clear Cast this time. Usually I use ice resin, but this time I'm going with Amazing Clear Cast. I like it. It'll be great for this, so that's that. The first thing that we're going to need to do is paint the background black, because it's in space, of course, and you need that black background for everything to pop. What I did last time and what I'm going to go ahead and do again is spray paint it. I'm sure that you could just paint it with black paint and a brush. I'm sure that you can just mix up a layer of resin and pigment it black and pour it in, and all of that will work, but I am just going to spray paint it again. If you would like to try this, I did a tutorial about basic spray paint tips for beginners. Go ahead and check that out, and that'll help you understand what I'm doing here. Okay, now we're going to let that dry, and when it does, I'll bring it in and get started with the resin. Okay, I just mixed my resin up. I'm in the process of getting all of that stirred up right now. There's a lot of bubbles in it, but I'm going to use the vacuum chamber I have, so it doesn't really matter. I did 20 milliliters of each, and that is, let me get that to focus. about right here on one of these little cups. So I did 20 milliliters of the hardener, I did 20 milliliters of the resin, and I'm mixing them all up now and I'm getting ready to put them in the degasser. I'm going to go ahead and get my colors worked out that I want that first layer to have. So I'm going to take 3 measuring cups for the 3 colors, and then I'm going to need a 4th one that I'm just going to put aside. Right. The trick to this is you want a lot of clear and just a little bit of color, and it's really easy to go overboard on the color. This is still something that I struggle with. You want very little color. It's mostly about the clear. So with that in mind, I'm going to split up some resin for my 3 different colors, and it's not very much. It's just a dollop or so, maybe another one, even though this is always how I wind up making way too much color. Just grabbed one. I work on wax paper to protect my surfaces. I also work with tin foil, and I'll just put the used sticks directly onto it, because even with wax paper, sometimes it can soak through. With tin foil, you don't have that problem. All right, so these are my cups. Get that to focus. There's not a lot in there at all. There's not even 5 milliliters. It's like 2.5. So now we're going to add our color in. You don't need a lot with this either. And that looks good. So we have some of that. I'm going to do some purple. These are the colors I got from TKB Trading. They're very inexpensive. They did not cost a lot at all. Those bags were, I don't know, maybe like $4.50, $5, something like that. It was really, really reasonable, and they last for a really long time. I got those like 2 years ago. It's also going to be blue, but there's going to be a little bit of white pigment in it because you want an opaque color to really like break up and show between the sheerer shades. Okay, and now here are my colors that I am going to be layering inside my clear resin. Okay. I'm going to let these sit. I'm going to put my resin in my vacuum chamber, and I'll show you that guy right over there to get rid of all the bubbles. It takes about half an hour in there, so I'm not going to be working with the resin until 30 minutes from now. So of course that's going to give it time to thicken up. And you're probably going to want to wait too, because you do want it to be very viscous. You don't want it to be so thick that it's hard to work with, but you don't want it to be just mixed thin. So I suggest waiting 20 minutes to half an hour and then coming back and working with the clear. So I'm going to handle all of that and then I'll be back. Okay, my resin has been degassed and it's all clear and I got the bubbles all out of it. So now I'm going to get the resin ready to pour into our star shape or whatever shape you decided to go with. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some of the clear and we're going to pour it into that cup that we put aside earlier. And it's not going to be very much right off the bat. Just pour a dollop in there. Put that aside. Now we're going to take a scoop of the blue we made earlier and drop it into the clear. And then we're going to do the same thing with the purple. So we're going to take a dollop of the purple and we're going to drop it into the clear. I don't really have any set order. I just kind of glop it around and try and put a color in a place that it isn't already. So now we're going to take that blue, which actually looks more like a gray. It's the white I mixed with the blue. And we're going to pour in more clear. So now we're going to put more clear into there. And we're going to dollop more color in again. Okay. Now we're going to get ready to pour it into the star. So I'm going to take my star. Now I'm going to take the clear. One thing I noticed about the other one was I would prefer all the color just to go straight through the middle and not so much down here. So I'm going to try and avoid getting so much in the corners this time. Okay, so to keep it from going places I don't want it to be, I'm going to pour clear resin. So I'm going to pour it over here. I don't want it to really get up in here. Oh, okay. So now I kind of have a barrier. Now I'm going to take my clear mixed in with all of my color, and I'm going to just pour it in. I'm going to add some more clear. Add more of our mixture. All right. If you want there to be a barrier between these globs of color you're pouring in, just add more clear. That's really how you're going to keep things from melding and mixing together where you don't want them to. Okay, so we're going to use the rest of this. I'm just going to use this blue stick and scoop it out. And I still have a good amount of the clear left, so I am going to just start to drop that around. Now I'm going to play around with the colors I have left over actually. Like I would like to see more blue in there, so I'm going to take this clear mixture and I'm going to scoop out some of this blue. I'm just going to drop it. Whatever, kind of mix it up a little bit. There we go. So now we're going to let this layer set until it's hard enough to do this again, to mix up a second layer and to pour it on. And if you want, you can kind of get in there and swirl it around a little if you want, or you can just leave it. I'm going to play around with it just a little bit. Cool. Okay. So I'm going to leave that for a few hours and we'll come back. Oh, actually, okay. To add the stars, we're just going to take a glitter and get up kind of high and just kind of pepper it around a little. Sometimes it falls more into one place and not very even, and I'll just take a toothpick and kind of spread it around. I'm also going to add a little bit of the iridescent glitter to kind of give the stars a far off kind of vibe. Cool. Okay, now we're going to let that set and I'll see you in a few hours. Okay, a few hours have passed and I'm getting ready to pour the second layer. This time I won't show you the mixing and amounts and all of that because you got all of that information from the previous layer. So I'm just going to get my colors mixed in with my clear and I'm going to get ready to pour. Just like before, we're going to pour clear where we don't want color to migrate to. So I'm going to do it just like before, along the top where I'd like it to stay, that black starry night. So I want to get this corner. I added some inclusions, just a little moon and a star. You can do that if you want. If you don't want to, that's cool too. Just like before, put clear where you don't want color to go. Or where you do want the color, but you just want it to be toned down a little bit. If you want a color to spread out a little bit, you can drop clear right on top of it. And that'll spread it out a little bit and give it a little bit more dimension and make it wispier and billow out further. So that's a neat little trick, is just pour clear. It's like on this over here, I'd like to disperse a little. So we just do a little bit of clear and then that does the trick. I'm going to put a little bit more and then stop. I think that's, maybe I should stop now. That's always my problem, is I just put way too much and it becomes jumbled, even with the magnets. Okay, I'm going to stop messing with this and leave it be. I'm going to step away from the resin and let this cure. And then tomorrow night, or even tomorrow morning, it should be good to go. And I could put little trinkets in it or do whatever the heck I want to do. So let me show you what it looks like from the top. Cool. Well, thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope you learned a lot and I hope you have a great day.